Before we get started, have you gotten my free resource, 10 quick tips to calm the chaos when you're feeling overwhelmed? Go to thesuccess.life/free resource. This ebook has 10 quick strategies you can implement right away to help calm you down and tame the chaos, even in the midst of your challenges. Go to thesuccess.life/free resource. Welcome to the Intentional Leadership Podcast. This podcast will help you break through the barriers holding you back from the true life of significance you are meant to live. I'm your host, Janelle Bruland, and I invite you to join me each month as I share leadership lessons and specific strategies to transform your leadership, crush your goals, and love your life. As a high-achieving entrepreneur, there was a time when I was overwhelmed doing all of the things and found myself overworked and overcommitted. Through the power of intention, I learned how to shift my mindset and create success habits to achieve a healthy work-life balance and true joy in my life. Now I'm here to help you do the same. Don't just be the CEO of your business, be the CEO of your life. Let's get started. Somebody help me, I can't stop working. This was a funny Instagram post by one of our clients. He was on vacation abroad with his family, and he was working. He was actually found himself cleaning carpets, and it was kind of a funny post and not so funny. Can you relate to not being able to shut it off?
Yeah, too often we go on vacation or we go visit relatives and, oh, I'm a mechanic, I'll fix a car. Or I am an entrepreneur, I can fix your house, whatever that might be.
Yes.
You know, operationally, like I can make the kitchen work more efficiently because that's what I do for a living.
Right.
So we have to be careful.
Definitely. As a driven entrepreneur, this is probably normal for you. You have a hard time shutting it off. And if so, you're not alone. And that is the purpose of today's podcast. Is we are going to talk about why it's important for you to press pause every day. And we're not talking about just on vacation a couple of times a year. We're actually talking about incorporating a practice every day where you press pause, where you slow down.
Every day?
Every day.
Not just on vacation.
Not just on vacation, because that doesn't work. I mean, how many times have you been on vacation and you've actually come back exhausted because you can't even stop working on vacation? Well, you need to have that rest and recovery time. Just like as an athlete, you take that rest and recovery time, you work hard, you rest and recover. You need to be doing that as part of your regular routine.
Oh, that's good. Well, you're the best at it, so why don't you tell us?
Well, yes, let's talk about 5 points. But first, I want to say that a statistic that I thought was really interesting is when on vacation, if you feel like this is you and you couldn't shut it off, that actually 70% of people stay connected while on vacation.
Connected how?
Connected either to their email, into their office, they're still working, to their devices, they can't unplug it all. So 3/4 of us go on vacation but don't ever leave the office. Right, exactly.
And we've all left the office 2 years ago and we haven't gone back. So
right.
We're really on 24/7 still.
That's exactly right. And we can't do it that way.
That doesn't work.
So let's talk about it. How can we press pause and get started on it? Well, first of all, let's talk about why. Why is it important? Well, your body and your brain perform the best when you're taking this regular time off.
Well, it's just like you had mentioned, being an athlete. If you're going to work out every single day, then sooner or later you're going to have an injury. Your IT band's going to go if you're a runner, or you're going to tear a bicep muscle if you continue to lift too much weight over and over and over. You need to take those breaks and cycle, have a cycle.
And so taking that time off, it really reboots you. It helps facilitates that recovery process, can improve your mood.
Oh, yeah.
What else?
No. I think performance. If you don't take time off, let's, for instance, a marathon. If I run a marathon or train for a marathon, and then I run a marathon the week before, the next week when it's actually race day, I'm not going to perform very well. So I need to improve my performance by taking a little bit of a rest and coming down into the race so that my body is full of energy, the muscles are recuperated, and I can then go to the race.
Awesome. It helps you concentrate. It builds your immunity.
Yeah.
Other things that it can do too.
That's great.
Anything else? What else does it do?
I think the biggest thing for me is when I stop, it just makes me realize how lucky I am and how grateful I am for what I have.
That's important.
If I don't stop, I don't really realize that.
Right. Just constantly this go, go, go in the rat race. And that's not how we're meant to live and thrive. So let's talk about 5 ways that you can intentionally press pause every single day. So the first one is you need to decide that you're going to do it. You need to actually decide that you're going to press pause, and when are you going to do that every single day? And one of the reasons that if you've tried to do this and you find you can't stop working, one of the reasons why you may be unsuccessful is that you've just tried to fit it in to your schedule. And I know that sometimes I'm guilty of this, and I don't have it set for myself and end up having so much packed into my day that we get to the end of the day and we haven't done all the things that we want to do, and we certainly haven't taken any breaks. We end up going till we're in bed at night.
I think that it can go for pressing pause is working out as well. It needs to be in your calendar. Pressing pause and journaling needs to, whatever it is, we need to put it in the calendar, because we can get up, have our cup of coffee, go, and then we won't stop until it's bedtime.
Yes, for sure. So having this press pause practice. So number 1, decide that you're going to do it and when you're going to do it. How much time are you going to dedicate to this practice? We recommend at least 20 minutes a day. And what is that best time of day for you? I do it in the mornings, and I actually take longer than that now. But back when my kids were small and just had a lot of that family kid load on my plate, it was just fitting in 5 to 10 minutes in the morning before I started my work day. And my friend, that is enough. If 20 minutes or more feels completely overwhelming to you, start small. Start with that small step of just deciding every day you're going to take 10 minutes as an example and take this time for yourself. So make that decision. That's number 1.
And I think that with that, if you stop for those 5 minutes and you look at those 5 minutes as I've now won the day, because I won something, you can build on that.
Right.
And you can build on the rest of the day. So number 2 is make pause the same time every day.
Yes, this is important. It really makes a difference, because then it becomes this habit for you, because if you start to do it the same time every day, you'll start to look forward to it. It'll become a regular practice for you. So I want you to think about your schedule during the day, because you likely have a pretty typical schedule. Most days you're doing the same thing. So you actually have a routine every day, whether you realize it or not, and that structure is good. So when can you incorporate, and let's just use 10 minutes for the practice that we talk about today. Where can you incorporate this 10-minute pause for yourself every single day? So is that a good time for you that you can say, I'm going to carve out some time and get up a little bit earlier every single morning? Is it another time of the day? I have a client of mine who actually does this right before her kids get off of school. She takes a break a little bit early from her work, because she picks up her kids from school at 4 o'clock every day. So she has decided to make that time in between work before she goes and gets her kids as this quiet time for herself, that she's doing something just for her. Maybe it's in the evening before you go to bed is a good wind down time and a quiet time where you can take this pause. So decide when it's going to be during your day.
And I think tying it together with something else. So some other thing that you are already doing, incorporate the pause with that. It's important.
Exactly. So step number 3 is incorporate it along with another practice. It really makes a difference. So have you read the book James Clear, Atomic Habits?
I loved it.
Yes, and he talks about this. He calls this habit stacking. You want to tell us a little bit about what that looks like? Yeah, let's talk about the habit stacking.
Anyway, but you do these things, you do small things, and you do them successfully. You do 1 10-minute pause, and you've journaled for 10 minutes. And then you don't look at the next, what I'm going to do the next 8 hours. You then, I'm going to go have my cup of coffee and I'm going to read. And then I'm going to the gym for 30 minutes. And then each of these just add up, and you feel better, you're stronger.
Right.
And it's easy to put together a lot of little things, like James Clear says with Atomic Habits, is a lot of tiny little things adds up, and it's easier to do.
Exactly. So say you're doing this pause for yourself in the evening. Maybe it's you clean up the dishes, you make your favorite cup of tea, you press pause. And I mean, I have a cup of tea every night as part of a routine already. That's typically something that I do as part of my wind down routine. So think of something you're already doing and add it on. In the morning, you're brushing your teeth, I hope, every morning. So maybe you're brushing your teeth and then you're doing your press pause, and then you take your shower and you get ready for the day, or whatever it may look like. So where do you already have a routine in your day, and how can you just fit this new habit of press pause right in between that and be able to incorporate it along another habit?
That's good.
Yeah. So what's number 4?
Number 4, I thought it was make press time for it.
Oh, you're right. Number 4 is making your press pause time motivating. That's what number 4 is.
Okay.
Make your press pause time motivating. So you got to want to do this, right?
Yeah,
so
right.
How do you make it something that you want to do? Well,
It's not a burden.
Yeah, this is time for you, and you need to think about it that way.
I think that if we don't make it motivating, it doesn't matter how small the habit is. We're not going to do it.
Right.
And so no matter what it is, if we don't want to do it and make it motivating or fun, then we're not going to do it. And this is so important, just to stop and do this for ourselves.
Right.
To reboot ourselves, to give ourselves these 10 minutes of whatever. So what is it that you like to do? To take this time, this 10 minutes, and read, journal, pray, meditate, whatever it is that you like to do.
Exactly. I think that is so important. So think about, what is it that refuels you when you actually stop? And maybe it's just sitting with a blank journal and just writing whatever comes to mind. Or maybe it's not doing any writing at all. Maybe the thought of journaling to you sounds like something that would be painful. I highly recommend journaling, and I have talks about that as well, because it's made such a difference in my life. But maybe that seems intimidating to you. So then you can actually be productive of being unproductive. You don't have to have something you do. And I think a part of the problem, and where it doesn't become motivating, is you make this another to-do list where you think, oh, I've got this 10-minute break. I'm going to quickly check off a couple things on my to-do list. I'm going to make a plan for what I'm going to do next. And no, that's not what this is for. This is for you to actually slow down your mind and pause and really not do anything specific at all, especially not checking things off of a to-do list.
Right. This is not get something done 10 minutes.
Right.
It's do nothing. And that's the success.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know, I took a sabbatical. We did it together too for several weeks, and I really had a hard time at first. And you'd think I'm the work-life balance queen.
Achiever.
But yet I'm the achiever. And it was really hard when I took the sabbatical to actually shut it off. I thought to myself, wow, I've got all of this time now, and this is going to be great. And I got bored, and it was really hard. And I had a hard time just doing nothing, is what I thought of it. And I felt like doing nothing wasn't productive, but I found through that process how productive it actually was. And I remember that our pastor reached out to me when I was struggling through this, and we had a conversation a little bit about this, and I just said, Guy, I'm having such a hard time just stopping for a while, but I know that I need it. I know that I need to take this time from going between things that I'm doing. I know I need this rest and recovery time, but it's so hard. I feel this need to be doing something. And he said the coolest thing to me. He said, Janelle, you're an achiever, so you need to have something to do. So I'm going to give you a goal. I'm like, oh, yeah, goal, that's what I need. And he said, I'm going to give you the goal of rest. He said, I want you to achieve rest. Wow, that was powerful.
And it was perfect because you needed to hear that
I did.
from somebody else.
I did.
So, and that was an extended pause so that you could figure out and identify and do different things. And so, but when he mentioned that was perfect.
Right.
And he had lived it, so that also helped.
It did.
He was wired the same.
Wired the same way, and had left the church to pursue a new calling that he had, but he really took some time for himself to pause and decide what's next. And so that it made a difference in his life. And so he was able to feel what I was going through and share some of the things that he had done. So back to this needing to pause every day. We don't want to just do that on vacation. We don't want to just do that on sabbatical, but adding these little snippets of recovery time, this rest time every single day. So important.
And with that, I think the final thing is you got to keep it up.
Yes.
You need to continue to do it. You can't do it, one day and then another. It's just like lifting weights or running or whatever it might be. You can get strong after a week or stronger, but then you stop and you're going to lose that 10%, 20% a week that you gained, and it doesn't do you any good.
No, that's so true. So step number 5 in this press pause practice is keep it up no matter what. Just keep at it. Because you know what? You're going to have a day where you miss your press pause. And you're going to have some guilt over that. And, oh, I missed it. But you know what? That's okay. That's going to happen. And you know what you do is that you just pick yourself up and the next day you get back to it. Just like if you're working to eat a healthier diet and you have a day that you just blow it. You know what? That happens. You're human. You're not perfect. You're building a habit. We're talking about progress, not perfection here. So you may have gone 10 days and then you miss a day and it just blows it for you. Well, it doesn't have to. You just pick it up the next day and you start it again. You've got to keep it up no matter what. And that's going to help you move forward to make this a practice in your life.
Right. Accountability. Find somebody that can hold you accountable is one thing. What are some other things that we could do to make sure that we're paying attention?
Really good. Well, I think just like as you set goals for your business, set some goals for yourself around this press pause habit. So as we talked about these different steps to help you do this, well, one thing that can really make a difference is set a goal around it of, okay, I'm going to do this for the next 30 days. And what gets measured gets done in my book. So start tracking that you're doing this every day. Have on your calendar, have this be something that you check off that you're doing every day. Even put as an appointment in your calendar if you need to. Yeah. And have somebody to hold you accountable, like you talk about.
And I think having a notification on your phone, although we have plenty of those for the most part, but it's not a bad thing to start this process to make sure that you can build that tiny little habit by having a notification.
I like it. Another thing is give yourself a reward. If sometimes you'll have a reward for yourself if you have a diet goal or a fitness goal and you make it, put a reward along this. So you do it straight for 7 days. What's something that you're going to treat yourself to?
Cheeseburger.
Well, I don't know about that, but whatever. Think of something that you can reward yourself with, and that can be motivating for yourself. That's a good way to do it. I guess this isn't a diet, is it? But it's not. No.
It feels kind of like it when you stop like that.
Well, anytime that you're working toward change in your life, and if you have a hard time shutting it off, this is not going to be easy, my friend, but you can do it.
I know I'm not very good at it, and you're great at it. So.
Well, thank you.
So
I appreciate that.
Going forward, what are the 5 things to kind of recap?
Let's talk about the 5 things. So the first one is you're going to decide that you're going to take a press pause every single day and decide when during the day you're going to do it.
And that was number 2, right? Number 2 is make sure that you do it every single day at the same time.
I like that.
Or try to.
Yep, very important. Yep. For sure.
And then with that, put it alongside some other routine that you're already doing. Hopefully you're brushing your teeth, maybe you're taking your kids to school, and put that pause, attach it to something else.
Right. Number 4, keep it motivating. Make it something that you want to do, and then you begin to look forward to it.
Right. And number 5, make sure you keep it up. Keep it and do it for 30 days, 60 days, 67 days, whatever it might be, so that it is part of your regular routine.
Yes, for sure. This is not easy. I was going to say, it's not difficult. It is.
If it was easy, I would do it.
It's not easy to do, but you can do it, even as a high achiever. And with intention, this is going to make such a difference in your life. And it's something that I have to continue to practice and work toward. And so much so that I created the new version of the podcast, our Shorty Tuesday, actually called Press Pause, just as a reminder to press pause every single day.
Yeah, and I think that it was working with that group of leaders that you had, it really kind of magnified the fact that all of them, none of them rather, pressed pause. And you did the life reset course with them. You walked through the entire life reset course, and none of them came out of it going, gee, I press pause all the time. Most of them don't ever do it.
Right.
And so I think it's important to do that.
Yes, and it made such a difference in their lives. I mean, one of our clients said, wow, I can't believe what a difference this has made to press pause every day.
Right.
This is something that I need to do every day.
It can be life-changing.
Yes, and you need to do it every day too, my friend. So follow these 5 steps, and as usual, we have a leader's guide for you to download to be able to look at these 5 steps, how to incorporate this in your own life and to build your own press pause practice. Thanks for joining us on Intentional Leadership Podcast. We'll see you next time. Thank you for joining me today on the Intentional Leadership Podcast, where you will learn how to transform your leadership, crush your goals, and love your life. Each episode, I will teach you something to take your life and leadership to the next level. Then at the end, I will challenge you to take action on what you have learned. If you're enjoying this podcast, will you please take a moment to leave a positive review? This helps get the message out to impact as many people as possible. And please subscribe to this podcast. That way the episodes will drop each time a new one comes out. Remember, when you grow as a leader, your team will grow and your company will grow. You can transform your leadership, crush your goals, and love your life.